Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called The Thing at the End of the Bed. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., Noah Bennett woke up screaming. Not from nightmares. From seeing someone standing at the end of his bed. At first, his parents thought it was normal. Noah was 8 years old, imaginative, quiet, and afraid of thunderstorms. Kids saw monsters all the time. His mother, Claire, would sit beside him, brush his sweaty hair from his forehead, and promise him the room was empty. "It's just a bad dream," she whispered gently. But Noah always answered the same way. "No," he'd say shakily. "It waits until I wake up." That sentence unsettled her more than she admitted. Because Noah never said the thing appeared. He said it was already there. Waiting. The Bennett family lived in a narrow 2-story house outside the small town of Blackwood Crossing. Old place. Cheap. The kind of home that always creaked even when no one moved. The previous owner had vanished years earlier. Nobody knew exactly what happened to him. The realtor called it an unresolved disappearance. Claire tried not to think about that. But Noah hated the house immediately. Especially his room. "It smells wrong," he told his father the first night. Ethan Bennett laughed softly while unpacking boxes. "That's what old houses smell like." "No," Noah whispered. "Like dirt." That night was the first time he saw it. Claire woke to Noah shrieking down the hallway. When she rushed into his room, she found him pressed into the corner beside his bed, shaking violently. His finger pointed toward the mattress. "There," he whispered. Claire turned on the light. Nothing. No intruder. No animal. No shadow. But Noah refused to sleep alone afterward. He claimed it stood at the end of the bed staring at him. Tall. Too tall. Its head nearly touched the ceiling. And its face. No face, Noah whispered one morning at breakfast. Just dark. Ethan sighed heavily. "Buddy, you've gotta stop watching scary stuff online." "I'm not lying." "We know," Claire said quickly, though she wasn't sure anymore. Noah stopped eating much after that. Dark circles formed beneath his eyes. He began falling asleep during class. His teacher, Mrs. Harlow, called home concerned after Noah drew dozens of pictures during math. Every picture showed the same thing. A child in bed. And a towering black figure standing at the foot of it. No eyes. Long arms. Too many fingers. In every drawing, the figure was smiling. Even though it had no mouth. Then Noah started talking about the breathing. That was worse. "It breathes before it moves," he told Claire one night. She sat beside him in bed trying to stay patient. "What do you mean? It sounds wet." Claire felt chills crawl up her arms. Noah stared toward the dark hallway outside his bedroom. "It hides beside the closet first," he whispered. "Then when I pretend to sleep, it walks to the bed." "You're safe," Claire said firmly. But Noah looked at her with genuine confusion. "No, I'm not." Then he asked something that made her stomach twist. "Why does it only come when you leave?" Claire began staying in his room until he slept. Nothing happened while she was there. But twice she woke in the middle of the night feeling strangely cold. Not room cold. Presence cold. Both times she could have sworn she saw something tall standing in the corner before her eyes fully adjusted. But then it would be gone. Ethan became irritated quickly. "He's feeding off your attention," he said. "He's terrified. He's 8. Claire wanted to argue. But part of her agreed. Until the footprints appeared. It happened after heavy rain. Claire woke early to make coffee and noticed muddy prints in the upstairs hallway. Bare footprints. Large ones. Too large to belong to Noah. They started outside Noah's bedroom and ended at the foot of his bed. Nowhere else. No prints leading away. Claire stared at them for nearly a minute before waking Ethan. He immediately blamed Noah. But Noah burst into tears the second he saw them. "I told you," he sobbed. "I told you it comes closer every night." That was the first time Ethan looked genuinely uneasy. Still, he tried to rationalize it. Sleepwalking. Prank. Old pipes leaking mud somehow. Anything except the truth. Because parents will convince themselves of impossible explanations before admitting something may truly be wrong with their child. The next week got worse. Noah stopped sleeping entirely. He developed the habit of staring under his bed for long periods without speaking. Sometimes Claire would find him whispering to the darkness beneath the mattress. One afternoon she overheard him say, "No, I don't want to go there." Her blood ran cold. "Who are you talking to?" Noah looked at her slowly. "The boogeyman." Claire almost laughed from relief. The word sounded childish, harmless. Until Noah continued. "He says that's just what children call him." That night, Claire searched the attic for old belongings left behind by the previous owner. Mostly junk. Boxes. Rotting clothes. Dust-covered furniture. Then she found a small leather journal hidden beneath insulation. The journal belonged to a woman named Margaret Vane, the previous owner's wife. Most entries were ordinary. Until the final pages. Claire sat in the attic reading with growing horror. October 3rd. Elias says there's a man standing at the end of his bed every night. October 11th. He says it gets closer when we don't believe him. October 18th. I checked his room tonight. I thought I saw something near the closet. Too tall to be a shadow. October 26th. Elias is refusing to sleep. November 2nd. He says the boogeyman doesn't kill children. He says it takes them where they belong. The final entry was barely readable. The handwriting shook violently. November 4th. Elias is gone. No windows broken, no doors opened. The police think he wandered off. But I heard breathing under his bed after they left. Claire slammed the journal shut. Downstairs, Noah screamed. She ran so hard she nearly fell down the attic stairs. Noah's bedroom light was off. The hallway smelled strange. Wet dirt. Exactly like Noah described. Claire burst into the room. Noah sat upright in bed staring toward the foot of the mattress. "Mom," he whispered. Claire slowly turned. And for one impossible second, she saw it. A shape darker than darkness itself. Tall enough its head bent sideways against the ceiling. Arms hanging nearly to the floor. No face. But she could feel it smiling. Then the hallway light flickered. And it vanished. Claire grabbed Noah immediately. "We're leaving." They spent 3 nights in a motel outside town. Noah finally slept. Claire almost convinced herself they were safe. Then Noah woke screaming again. 2:13 a.m. "The motel room has a closet too," he whispered. That was when Claire understood. It wasn't the house. It was following him. Ethan still refused to believe. Even after Claire told him what she saw. "You were half asleep. I know what I saw. You're scaring him more." But Ethan stopped arguing after the recording. Because Noah had secretly recorded himself sleeping on an old tablet. At 2:13 a.m., the footage changed. Static filled the screen briefly. Then the room darkened unnaturally. Noah's sleeping body shifted slightly. And slowly. Something rose from beneath the bed. Not climbed. Rose. Like smoke unfolding upward. Tall. Impossible. Its limbs bent incorrectly. And though the video had no sound, Ethan swore he could almost hear breathing. Then the figure leaned down close to Noah's ear. Noah's eyes snapped open instantly. The recording ended. Ethan went pale. For the first time, he whispered, "What the hell is that?" Noah answered quietly from the doorway. "He said you weren't supposed to see him." That night, they kept Noah between them in the master bedroom. Lights on. Doors locked. No one slept. At 2:12 a.m., the power went out. Every light died simultaneously. The entire house fell silent. Then came breathing. Deep. Slow. Right outside the bedroom door. Claire clutched Noah tightly. Ethan grabbed a baseball bat. The breathing moved down the hallway. Then stopped directly outside the room. A long silence followed. Then, scratch. One slow scrape across the door. Noah started crying. "It found me." Ethan opened the door suddenly with the bat raised. The hallway was empty. But at the far end, something stood in darkness. Too tall. Its head scraping the ceiling. Ethan froze. The thing tilted its head slowly. Then every bedroom door in the hallway creaked open at once. Inside each room stood another version of it. Watching. Breathing. Ethan slammed the door shut. The scratching started immediately. Not frantic. Patient. Like claws testing wood. Then came a voice. Soft. Wet. Right outside the door. "You finally looked." The voice didn't sound human. It sounded ancient. Like thousands of whispers speaking together. The walls began shaking gently. Noah buried his face into Claire's chest. "He says it's time." Claire cried openly now. "What do you want from him?" The breathing stopped. Then came the answer. "He was always mine." The closet door behind them creaked open. Cold air spilled into the room. And from the darkness inside the closet, long black fingers slowly curled around the frame. Ethan swung the bat wildly. The bedroom lights exploded. Glass rained everywhere. Claire screamed. And in the darkness, Noah vanished. Gone instantly. No footsteps. No struggle. Just gone. The police searched for weeks. Nothing. No fingerprints. No evidence. No sign Noah had ever left the room. People whispered the parents killed him. Others claimed kidnapping. Nobody believed the truth. Claire and Ethan divorced within the year. Neither ever recovered. But Claire kept Noah's room untouched. Every night at 2:13 a.m., she claimed she heard breathing from inside it. Years passed. Then one winter night, Claire woke to something horrifying. Soft footsteps upstairs. Small footsteps. Child footsteps. She grabbed a flashlight and slowly climbed the stairs. "Noah," she whispered hopefully. The hallway was dark. His bedroom door stood slightly open. Breathing came from inside. Claire pushed the door open slowly. At first she saw nothing. Then her flashlight tilted upward. And she dropped it screaming. Because standing in the corner ceiling like a spider, clinging impossibly upside down, was Noah. Or something wearing Noah. His arms and legs were too long now. His mouth stretched impossibly wide. Eyes completely black. And behind him in the darkness stood the tall faceless shape. Watching proudly. Noah smiled too widely and whispered. "He says I can stay under your bed now." Then the flashlight went out. And Claire's scream cut off abruptly. The neighbors reported hearing breathing inside the house for hours afterward. Slow. Wet. Patient. Waiting beside the beds of anyone foolish enough to fall asleep.